So I'm gonna hit the timer here. I'm gonna be doing a lot of flicks like that. I want to get the ball at the nose of my car to keep it as fast as I can. And I'm going to be going for some air dribbles as well, carrying the ball across if I can. Here's the first one.
So for anyone that's unaware, these air dribbling, especially straight off the ground, this is a skill that is probably going to take you a good couple hundred hours to even start developing. Again, it's something that's really hard to understand if you've never played the game before, because you've spent however old you are with the physics of the real world understanding that. You could throw a ball off the wall and catch it, no problem. But while close, the physics of Rocket League are a little bit different. And you have to get used to those. You have to understand it, and you don't have the three-dimensional space to work on. You're using a 2D screen. So it really changes how hard it is to develop a lot of these mechanics. Even just dribbling, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a very long time just to keep the ball on top of my car.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to wrap your head around when you first start, even just how to move in different directions. So,
and focus.
Yeah, the ball is very weird. Yeah,
that's one thing about
non-stop.
You're doing so many calculations at once, because you're not only controlling where your car's looking, you have your air roll, so you're spinning your car, your pitch, your yaw. It's like an airplane. You also have to control your momentum through the air and the ball's momentum. And the way the ball actually interacts on top of the car is really interesting. But what I do want to talk first about is this map in general. This is one of the first, at least from my perspective, one of the first maps that people really took off on. This was Dribbling Challenge 2, made popular, of course, by French Fries, and then credits to Digby and Martin as well. But this was one of the first community-made maps that took off, and people just I want to beat this, I want to beat this. And of course, everyone would do it. What you're doing is 100%, so he's going through every single level here and trying to beat it as fast as possible. There are a ton of skips. There's different categories for this. Plumato, if you want to touch on it a bit more about what those categories kind of look like, because I've seen some really crazy skips where you can just skip basically the entire thing.
Yeah, so originally there was like just two basic categories of like 100%, any percent. But the thing with any percent is there were so many different ways to beat the dribbling challenge, and there's some ways that you can beat it on the original map versus Overhaul, which Overhaul kind of defeats the underside of level 30 being completed by pitching the ball. So there's two kinds of pinches you could do. On the very first level, you could turn the ball around and pinch it off the starting platform, and it would pinch directly into the top, and that would be time. And then they, before they found that out though, they had level 12 pinch, where you'd make it to level 12 and do that exact same thing. Additionally, on level 16, where you kind of air dribble it up a little bit, people were able to air dribble it from there to level 27, skipping a lot of the map on that.
And of course, we haven't really been able to see it because he's so good, but if that ball touches the ground and goes through it, the ball cannot make contact. There's no hitbox. It falls straight through and it forces you to restart. So this isn't an arbitrary keep the ball up. If it falls, you can't complete the level. But what I do love, again, about these workshop maps is it showcases a lot of the creativity of the community, and the fact that we don't, there's no traditional speed running unless you want to speed run the just the career mode or the tutorial. One, we had to take that on ourselves because there's no real story mode or anything.
Oh no!
That's unfortunate. There's not much you can do there. Your wheel has a hitbox that can get caught.
And these maps kind of gave control to the community to start creating our own runs, trying to find our own ways through it.
Now, real quick, I do want to give a quick shout out to the 2 users on the leaderboard that have completed this with limited amount of boost, meaning per level they use only 33 boosts to complete it. That would be the player Tallybird and also Holy Avocados. They are the only 2 that I've seen complete this with a limited amount of boost, which is completely insane. And long.
That just went ahead of me there. I couldn't catch up to it.
This is
I'm
it.
trying to go behind this next gate here by skipping across.
Yeah, so instead of having to dribble around that big bend there, you just take it across the whole thing. But again, as we
Yeah,
said,
I think I will have to though. Yeah, it's quite a tough one. I had to come up with some weird ones for this event. Just why not? But I don't think I'll be able to get it. Also, this next one here is I also came up with just recently. I'm gonna try to dribble across here.
hey, we're here to showcase. Take the chances. Nice.
There we go. I'm
Beautiful.
gonna do another one. I'll try and land here.
Yeah, you got this. Oh, I jinxed it.
My
Commentator
computer
Chris.
started there.
That's a
I'll
nice,
just take it now.
it's a nice jump over, though. I mean, that kills a lot of time. And you see how much min-maxing a lot of players will go through just to shave off a few seconds.
I'd like to mention as well, the current world record for this is by a user named Alexit. He has a 5:45 time, and then second place is pro player KDOP with a 5:51. So that's the level of competition.
Yeah, a lot of good players on this
Yeah.
leaderboard.
Oh, sorry, 5:49. My bad.
And I think that's an important thing to note too, is that these, in addition to having an extra challenge of, hey, I can speed run this, it really does help with your your mechanics a lot, and that does translate. I mean, KDOP being in second place, a professional RLCS professional player, it shows that these skills do translate back and forth. So if you're ever looking and you have the Steam version, definitely hop into these and try some of these out, because there's some really fun ones out there.
I thought the wall might hit me there. I had a bit of a wobble.
Yeah, there's giant red walls. We'll take them out.
Yeah. And that's a big thing. If you know, there's a start of level 13. Like there's a lot of moving parts, and that's the rest of the map is just moving parts all the time.
Yeah, we're at the last few levels here. So these are pretty standard. No more skips really.
Straightforward,
But they are pretty scary the first time you try this map.
Well, one of the things I was touching on before is the way the ball interacts with the top of the car. That if the ball just sits on top of your car, there's actually a point where it originates a forward force, an acceleration that gets applied to the ball. And if that ball is, that point is slightly back on the hitbox of the car, which is essentially just a rectangle. And if the ball gets too far in front, it starts applying more force, which forces the ball off the front of the car, which makes you go faster, which speeds up the ball. And it can get out of hand pretty quickly. And that's why you see back and
But
forth.
it is how you do it fast, how you dribble fast.
Yeah. And there's the final flick.
Flick it there. There we go.
Nice.
803, not too
803
bad.
isn't terrible, especially for a marathon run. That's really
Dude, here's the thing. It takes me 8 minutes just to get past like the first 3 levels.
yeah, all right. We don't need to talk about that though. Okay.